I'm James Santa, the managing editor of Banker and Tradesman.
And I'm Dumcius, author and editor of MASSterlist.
I mean, there were a lot of different issues at work in the election. You know, we got Trump's threats to swamp Boston, but Kraft tried to make housing, one of his top priorities. Did it seem like that was sinking in at all with voters as you were on the campaign trail?
No.
No?
No. Well, I should say, I mean, the campaign was very dominated by the specter of Donald Trump, and I think, even in one of Josh Kraft's mailers that got sent out to voters, like there was a looming Trump face behind him as he's got his arms crossed and talking about how he's going to stand up to Trump. But and I think we saw with the kind of media availability that Mayor Wu had this morning, she was answering questions about Trump and about immigration, and I think that's kind of overwhelmed the conversation overall. I would say the other thing too is that Kraft at the beginning very much struggled to find his footing on that, especially when he was hitting her for not coming through on rent control and bringing back rent control to Boston, but then coming up with his own proposal, or putting forth his own proposal that wasn't really rent control, but still managed to anger some of the people who hate rent control. It showed how tough the issue was going to be for him.
Yeah. Well, and then his proposal to walk back affordability mandates, it sort of makes a lot of sense to folks in the real estate industry, but, it seems like it must have been a little tough to translate that to the average voter.
Yeah, I would say I would use that exact phrase. It's tough to translate, and I think overall, like if you go knocking on doors as an elected official and you talk to any of those elected officials, they'll tell you this. Like one of the number one things they hear on the doors is housing and affordability, and people saying like my kid cannot afford to live in the city or town that we grew up in. So it's a very, very real issue, but it's also it's so multifaceted that it's incredibly difficult to get your arms around it, even as an official with some amount of power.
Yeah. Does it feel like this puts the mayor in a better position to get some of the changes that are in process through? Like I'm thinking Squares+Streets, I'm thinking the reforms at what's now the Boston Planning Department, formerly the BPDA.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think some of the stuff people were wondering, like, what's going to happen to this? Because, I think there is a calculation in some people's minds of like, oh, we're close to an election. Is this going to go through? Is this going to get paused? She had a resounding win on Tuesday. I mean, it was a blowout.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for breaking this down for us.
Of course, happy to do it. Thank you.